What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Shop Talk Tuesday, where we have Matt Rich here.
Hello.
That guy. If y'all don't know Matt, he's in pretty much the comment section for every video that I've ever released. And on top of that, he's one of the admins on the TRE Workshop, the Facebook page that I run. If you're not part of that, I'm gonna have a link for it in the description below. Go check it out. There's a lot of knife makers on there. It's over 1,000 people who just, share ideas and have fun talking about knives. Now, he came down to, let us work on a few things. We went to Blade Show. I'm going to show you all the highlights of that towards the end of this, all the things that I thought that stood out. And I'll do a little bit of takeaways and stuff like that from the actual show. And, maybe I'll have him talk to y'all as well. Now, he came down here and kind of kicked me in the butt and said, let's go ahead and knock some shit out. So, we knocked it out. One of the big things that we were able to do was this guy. So if y'all have heard me talk about this rolling table thing that I've wanted to do for a little while, I've had this rolling table that moves up and down. It's got a knob right down here that lets you raise and lower this about, I think it's about 10 inches up and down, and that way I can get every work rest that I have on here all at the exact position that I want it to be. Let's say that I want to grind sitting down in a chair. I can lower this all the way down to about right here, sit down and grind at it. So we were able to set this up. It's got 4 casters on the bottom. Every single one of those lock. So whenever I lock this into place, it's not going anywhere. And by the way, this is just a Husky raising table workbench thing that you can get, not sponsored. If they want to send me stuff, they can, but not sponsored. He's really kind of sent a whole bunch of those thought light bulbs my way on this thing. Most of the things that are on here, where they're positioned, were his idea. So that was very helpful. I'm going to kind of break it down, show you where some of the things are. So of course, we got the 2x72 on here, and it's pushed all the way to the side so that I'm not collecting dust anymore on a shelf right here. On my old setup, I had about this much workbench come over here, and it would just collect a whole bunch of shavings and everything from the actual grinding process. So don't have that anymore. I'm going to be able to get my bucket and everything set up right underneath here. Then we did this cool little thing back here. This is just a little magnetic bolt holder. Put a little bracket back there. Put that there so that whenever the grindings are coming back here, they're collecting on this, and then I can go ahead and clean that off with a vacuum and keep grinding. But that way, a lot of the shavings are collected in that little tray right there. Gotta love stuff like that. We've got little small vise over here that articulates a lot of different ways, and then my little Fordham, the little Dremel set up right here on this little stand with a little holder for it. This is just a little holder that was a vacuum tube, and I absolutely love this thing. So basically, come down here, grind everything, do whatever I gotta do little cool stuff, and then when I'm not done or using it, just goes right back in there in that little sleeve. This can swing either direction, stays out of the way. So we've got that set up right there. Then coming around here, we're gonna have the porta band saw. Now this is the new one that I got sent. So this is the second porta band that I've had. Just got this one set up on here. Had to shim a couple of things because it didn't bolt up exactly how the other one was, which makes sense because the other one was 2 years old. You know, there's bound to be some slight changes or something like that, but everything's on here nice and square. The blade itself is real nice and square, so it's gonna cut nice and straight. So we've got that up here. This right here I'm turning to a knife vise. This is one of those vices that are over here, but with everything taken out of it, and I'm gonna end up putting a tube in here that can spin this way, and it'll make it to where I can sand handles and blades and everything. It tightens here, lets it swivel with a tighten in here adjustment here, and then I'm gonna have another one of these on a piece that will actually hold the steel. So you'll see that in a video whenever I actually finish that. And then we've got the good old-fashioned Harbor Freight Central Machinery drill press that makes all of the weird noises whenever I'm using it. So we got that up here, and I can, like I said, I can raise and lower this to make this easy for me to film and see what's going on. What I love about this is you can take this and move it around and put it where I want to. So when I'm filming and I'm setting up a tripod, I can put that anywhere. And once I get the door built on this side, I'll be able to take it and roll it outside and have everything that creates dust outdoors. So that's gonna be huge. And the fact that everything that creates dust is here, or one small thing that also creates, it's a minimal amount of dust, but it creates dust. This guy, so my sharpener, I've got it mounted to the wall right here, to where all I gotta do is come up to it, sharpen, do everything that I want. Got my belts on the wall, got contact wheel on the wall, another power strip on the wall. But if I'm gonna be creating dust and I don't want it all in the shop, I can take it and move everything out here. So whenever I build the doors, which will happen within the next couple of weeks, I'll be able to take that, roll it straight out. And everything that's on the table is all plugged into its own power strip, heavy duty power strip, surge protector-y thing right there. So we've got that all set up, but I really like how everything on here is easily accessible. I took about 12 linear feet worth of stuff off of the counter space in the other shop, the 12 by 12, and put all of that in this area. And what's nice is if I lower this, it rolls right underneath the 1x30 sharpener, and it's out of the way. Now, one of the things that I'm also going to be doing in a later video is I am going to go ahead and make one of those like sharpener things. If you look up broadback sharpener and Ameribraid sharpener, they basically have a little rod that comes up and comes across here, and you put their little holder for the knife on top of that, and it gives you something steady to slide across, and you can change the height of the rod to change the angle of this. I'm probably gonna make one of those because I can attach it straight to this frame. And if I end up doing that, I'll show y'all how I did it so that y'all can go ahead and have something set up that is really inexpensive when it comes to being able to have consistent, you know, sharpening your edges. It'll be consistent whichever way you end up going. And I think that that's gonna be really cool. I think that it'll be simple. All it is a little bit of steel, a little bit of wood, and you can do that. Maybe spend $100 and have a good consistent sharpener. probably going to be one of the least expensive sharpeners that you can get. So I'll show y'all that whenever I get it. One of the other things that we were able to accomplish was we did this. Y'all know that I do a lot of my heat treating in, it is back here, my post driver quench tank. Well, Matt brought his, and we actually set it up a little bit different. I went ahead and welded this little frame to the bottom here, and he can slide this little hot plate thing in and out and change the temp of his oil. I went ahead, cut everything down, made it look all good, and now he can actually go ahead and heat treat by just setting the temp on this, get his oil warm, and he's good to go. Like I said, this just slides in and out. We are going to end up putting this little plate to kind of cover this area, so it'll come off either side. So if any oil comes down, it's not burning on top of that. But yeah, that definitely worked out. So we did that. Very simple, just a little bit of steel, nothing too crazy. And yeah, just kind of been messing with stuff, putting power outlets places, cleaning, organizing, kind of emptying out the other shop so that I can start dismantling that and making it to where that's a clean space. I've got to clean everything in there, pull all the wall material down, insulate it, sheetrock it, do all that stuff because we're going to be doing that. And that's going to be a clean room where I do like some of my leather work. I'm going to be doing a podcast at one point, and I'm going to have a couple people come through, be on it, do stuff like that. It's going to be really cool. Now, one of the things that I told y'all I was going to do was I was going to go ahead and grind the that was loud. So I was going to go ahead and grind on the profile of this guy right here. So we're going to end up doing that now that I have the little grinding space all set up. I'm going to show y'all that. We're going to get the profile ground out the rest of the way on it. Plus, we're going to do, like I said, the B-roll from what I thought was interesting at the Blade Show. And we're going to do a little bit of our takeaways. So let's go ahead, grind this out, and then talk about that stuff. Let's get it. Okay, so we got it ground out. We got the profile actually done. So it's a beast. I mean, when you think about this, 2 hands, look at it in comparison to like the size of my body here. This is massive. And I love this profile. I think that that profile just looks wicked. Now we're gonna have file work around that hole. We're gonna have file work around that hole. We're gonna have some file work on the spine. Have some nice, really sleek bevels with a bunch of cool etching process that we're gonna do to it. This is gonna be awesome. So I'm excited about this, but one thing that I wanted to hit on real quick, if you have to drill holes like this right here, make your life easier and get you some bits like this. Those are the ones that I was using in this. Now these are just Hercules brand from Harbor Freight, nothing fancy. If you are gonna use these, I would suggest a more powerful drill press than that little guy right there. It kind of binds up a little bit here and there, but that's just because the drill press isn't that powerful. Get a better drill press, but go with bits like this, not the Christmas tree or step bits or anything like that. These will make your life so much easier and make cutting holes like that way faster, especially if you want to get into doing like Quran bits or something like that, or you know, ring finger knives, any of those things. Those, use these, make your life easy. So guys, that's where I wanted to stop with the actual part of this. You know, then we got to do with the awesome new table right here. So excited about that. Now let's go ahead and let's jump into the B-roll footage of my highlights for Blade Show in Texas. These are, you know, guys that just make awesome knives, and they have the knives that stood out to me. So let y'all watch through that, and then we'll catch back up in the outro.
What's up guys, I'm Logan, this is Brian. We have a YouTube channel called Black Knight Blades. This is our business.
those were the highlights of the actual show, the things that I looked at and thought, okay, I'm gonna change a couple of things because of these builds. You know, I saw little things with ergonomics, profiles, sizing, and stuff like that that I thought those are really good ideas, and I might try those out and see if I like those. And I've got so many ideas for builds moving forward off of that show. And I get that every single time I go to one of these big blade shows, because you hardly ever get to be around that many knife makers and be able to pick their brains on why they chose certain things and why they do things certain ways, and then also talk to them about the way that you do things and why you choose to do those. You know, I like to take my own knives and put them in the knife maker's hands and have them look at them and tell me what they think about them and what they would change or what they might utilize for my particular knife making process in one of their builds moving forward. And there was a lot of that happened, and it was very cool. It was nice being able to hang out with, you know, Jason Knight and talk to him about all kinds of different things, and just spending the after show time with Dennis and from Tyrell Knife Works, and, you know, all the guys, Matt. Just it was a blast, you know, having that Friday night, Saturday night, hanging out and just, you know, talking about things. And it was probably one of my favorite parts about the whole knife show, and that was the stuff that happened after knife show. So it was pretty cool. I really enjoyed it. And again, all I would suggest is if you're going to go to something like that, pick up as many knives as possible, figure out what you think is great about their ergonomics, their profiles, their edge geometries, why they choose certain things within their chef's knives or choppers or camp knives or any of those things. Check them out and see what you would do moving forward with your own build process. So there you go. That's my takeaways from that particular knife show. I will be at the Atlanta knife show and most likely the Utah one as well. So I plan on going to all three blade shows this year. So I'll be there. I'm not gonna have a table. I'm just gonna be walking around, hanging out, and chilling with everybody. So there's that. Now, one of the things that I wanted to do was I wanted to add in Matt's takeaways as a newer knife maker going into this particular blade show and stuff like this. So I'm gonna add in his video that he recorded in his hotel room. And I don't know if he was planning on me actually putting this in here or not, but I'm going to. Thank you, Matt. So we'll go ahead and do that, and then we'll wrap it up. So here's his takeaways.
I'd say if you're a new knife maker, and you've been making knives for maybe a year, 2 years, never been to a blade show, maybe you've never even been to a gun show, I don't know. I don't know what your demographic or what your situations are or whatever, and there's probably those that have been to all those things, and still. Go to a knife show, go to where there's going to be knives, you can feel them, you see them on the table, and it kind of gives you an idea of where you're at too, because there's all different kinds of knives on these tables. All different kinds of tables. All right, and you'll see where you measure up in that lineup, and you might surprise yourself. Okay, so go out and do it if you haven't done it yet and you're a new knife maker. Okay.
Well, that was Matt's takeaways from Blade Show Texas, and I really want to thank him for coming down, hanging out with me, being a part of that whole journey, plus being able to help me get off my butt and actually go ahead and just make this thing happen. So we did that. We got a whole bunch of stuff knocked out, and I just really enjoyed having another person who's like-minded and is as passionate about what you do as you are to come down and just hang out for a weekend was really cool. I appreciate the heck out of it. So again, thank you, Matt, for doing that. Also, thank you for the awesome knife. He gave me this knife right here. We did a little knife swap. So I got this beautiful knife of his. As you can see, he's a fantastic knife maker. Makes awesome knives. Lime Proud Forge. It's got a custom pin on there. Just an absolute fantastic knife. I ended up swapping him, and I gave him the post-apocalyptic like cleaver with the knuckle duster that was on it. I think what we're gonna end up doing is he's gonna end up doing a sheath for that. I'm gonna do a sheath for this, and then I might do a video about that. We'll see how that goes. But guys, it was a great experience. It's absolutely a ton of fun. I would suggest if you have a chance to go to a knife show near you, do it. If you're a knife maker, being able to see that many knives in one place at one time is just absolutely awesome. Guys, that's pretty much the end of this one. If you would, give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. If you're still here at this point, you might as well subscribe. It's free, it costs you nothing. And the crazy thing that happens is whenever I release a video, you get notified of it. That's a weird process, huh? So go ahead and do that. Y'all have an amazing day. Y'all stay safe out there. I'll catch y'all in the next video. See y'all.